Hi, I'm Serena, and welcome back to the Verdant Mindset. Have you ever noticed how different life can feel at the end of a long day? A message that seemed harmless earlier suddenly feels personal. A small mistake begins to feel like proof that you are failing. A decision that felt manageable in the morning becomes completely overwhelming at night. And sometimes the situation hasn't changed at all. You are simply tired. Today, I want to talk about why everything can feel heavier when our mental and emotional energy is running low. Why not every thought needs to be believed, answered, or acted upon immediately. Because sometimes the problem isn't that your life is falling apart. Sometimes you just need rest before you can see it clearly. Part 1. Tiredness changes our perspective. During the day, we are constantly processing information. We make decisions, respond to messages, manage responsibilities, navigate other people's emotions. We try to stay focused and often carry our own private thoughts in the background at the same time. By the end of the day, our capacity can feel much smaller. Things that normally wouldn't affect us can suddenly feel intense. We become more sensitive to someone's tone, more impatient with ourselves, more likely to assume the worst, and less able to hold uncertainty calmly. That doesn't mean that feelings are fake, but it may mean we are experiencing them without the perspective we usually have when we are rested. A tired mind can make a temporary feeling sound like a permanent truth. Part 2. Why late night thoughts feel so convincing. I think many of us have experienced this. You lie down to sleep, and suddenly your mind begins reviewing everything. The conversations you had earlier, the work you didn't finish, the decisions you have been delaying, the future you are uncertain about. And in that moment, everything can feel urgent. You might think, I need to solve this now. I need to send that message. I need to make a decision. I need to figure out what this means. But exhaustion can make the mind search for certainty when it doesn't have enough energy to think clearly. We mistake urgency for importance. We feel pressure to resolve something simply because we feel uncomfortable sitting with it. But not every uncomfortable thought requires an immediate response. Sometimes it needs time, sometimes it needs distance, and sometimes it needs sleep. Part 3. The decisions we make from exhaustion. When we are tired, we may react in ways we don't reflect what we truly think. We send the emotional message, cancel something we actually care about, decide that a difficult day means the entire plan is failing, or convincing ourselves that we need to make a major change immediately. I've been learning to ask myself one question before reacting. Would this feel the same after I have rested? That question doesn't dismiss the problem, it creates space around it because there is a difference between avoiding something and choosing to approach it with a clear mind. You may still need to have the conversation tomorrow. You may still need to make the decision. You may still decide that something needs to change. But you don't have to make every important choice from your most depleted state. Rest first, then return to the situation with more perspective. Part 4. A simple evening reset. When everything feels overwhelming at the end of the day, try writing down three things. First, what actually happened? Keep it factual, not what you fear it means, not what might happen next, just what you know. Second, what am I feeling right now? Maybe you are disappointed, embarrassed, anxious, angry, or simply exhausted. Naming the emotion can help you understand what is influencing your reaction. And thirdly, does this need action tonight? Sometimes the answer will be yes, but often the answer is no. You may only need to write it down, step away, and decide when your mind has more capacity. You are not ignoring the issue. You are refusing to let exhaustion make the decision for you. Part 5. Rest is not avoidance. I think some people worry that resting means they are running away from what needs to be focused. But rest and avoidance are not the same things. Avoidance says, I never want to deal with this. Rest says, I want to deal with this when I can respond thoughtfully. You don't need to prove your strength by forcing yourself to solve everything when you are depleted. Sometimes strength looks like recognizing that you have reached your limit for the day. It looks like closing the laptop, putting the phone down, allowing the unanswered question to remain unanswered until tomorrow, and trusting that clarity may return when your energy does. This idea is also part of why I created the Verdant Reset. It's a free guide for moments when life feels mentally crowded and you need somewhere quiet to begin. It helps you pause, reflect on where you are, and take your next step with clarity without changing everything at once. You can download it through the link in the description below. The next time everything feels heavier than usual, pause before deciding that everything is wrong. Ask yourself, am I seeing this clearly, or am I simply tired? Your feelings still deserve attention, but they don't always require immediate action. Not every problem needs to be solved tonight. Sometimes the kindest and clearest decision is to rest and return tomorrow. Thank you for spending this time with me. Let me know in the comments what tends to feel harder for you when you are exhausted. And subscribe for more calm, thoughtful conversations about human behavior, emotional intelligence, and rebuilding your life with greater intention. I'll see you in the next episode.